Right. Helps if you're on the right microphone. Don't know how good that's going to sound. I've not done any sound checks or anything. I've literally just clicked like live, as in go live. I've got nothing set up, so it should be fun. Yeah. Oh, and literally we've just wicked into our TP. Believe it or not, I tried starting the stream when I first entered into this trade, because I just figured, why not? Got a feeling this is probably going to keep coming down to here, but it's just taken me that long to actually set everything back up again. It's been 2 years since I last streamed, so everything was logged out, everything had to be reconfirmed, all the passwords had to be put back in, and blah blah blah. So, but yeah, it's all good. That was an amazing, pretty much, what's that, 120 pips? Love it. Take that one. You watch, we won't get another little setup now. Had that good move. Where are we looking? I mean, we may come further down. I just felt like that would be the lowest point from historical, just from this little bump and check here before. This was FOMC yesterday, actually, but yesterday? Wednesday. Yeah, yesterday. Just from this little bump, this little high here is where I pretty much aimed for my take profit. And it hit into it absolutely beautifully. I think I was, yeah, my take profit was maybe just a little bit higher than the bump, just in case. As you can see, the candles wicked down just ever so slightly and then bounced back up. Perfect trade. We pretty much caught the top of this move, really. Entry wise, obviously we've got a little arrow there. Little arrow there just sort of signifying that what we do, instead of entering as soon as it closes and we print the arrow, we wait for a slight pullback back into this fair value gap that originated from this green candle here. Effectively, it's like an order block, but it's more of an imbalance or a fair value. So, yeah, and as soon as it pulled back into there, luckily it shot up pretty quickly. It pulled back into there, jumped into the trade, simple 10 pip stop loss. And then, like I say, we looked left once we were in. I was thinking about aiming to here, but because this pullback was so not strong, but it came back to pretty much market structure here. So we had a break of market structure and we pulled back up into this area. If it's going to break, it's going to break this low again because we're starting to stack down. So I could ignore this as a pivot point and aim past it. And given that we've got a lot of fresh air down to this fair value gap, I looked for, after this point, after these lows, I looked for, if anything, the most recent but untouched, so like a fresh order block that would have a reaction, and that is obviously this big candle from the FOMC yesterday. And it played out perfectly. I've been meaning to set up streams to actually, well, trade, I suppose you could call it. I've not worked in the office really. I've been working elsewhere. So yeah, oh, look at that. It's pulling back up nicely. I expect we're going to have a correction and maybe carry on down, but either way, we're out the trade. At 12.7 to 1 ratio. There we go. So we've now broken up. We're creating a bullish, bullish fair value gap. But what it might do is, as I suspected, is it will pull back, probably fill in from this point. This is, in my mind, the way I'd call it. Probably the wrong terminology, but the way I'd call it is that that's an internal order block here. So if we've stacked down, created a bit of consolidation, then break again. So this area is probably an area that it looked to either break back through to come back up, or retest, wick down, and then push down to these lower levels. But given that we will always just sit and wait for candle close confirmation, we're never chasing the ace, so to speak. We're not like, oh, it's gonna. We wait for it to happen and then we enter. Hence why we at the top, we broke, we got the confirmation of a break and a close, and then we wait and then we enter. Obviously, that's on a micro scale between a 2 minute time frame, but it's exactly the same when you're waiting for structure to form. Because there's nothing to say that this won't just shoot back up all the way up here. Where was we up here? Right, I'll leave that one in there for the journal later. I'll work out. I need to do screenshots actually. Well, got the stream started and we're back to sitting and waiting. uh, yeah. Where's my settings? Right, so we had a little bit of a pullback into this area as predicted, which is nice. It's nice when it plays out that way. Didn't come all the way up to it, to be fair. The sort of, you could say that the green candle here would have been effectively a respective order block, like an internal order block. And then the cluster of candles here before this wick, in the sense that it's just selling off, and then it broke. Like the consolidation. So if we make it back up to here, we could end up ranging for a minute or two before we would break. And then the first candle that broke out is this one here, is where we've wicked into to check and then sold off from it. So there's still sell orders sitting here below this level. I'm not trading. Oops, I want to move that. Oh, now I've claimed it, I think, have I? Yeah. Oh, what am I doing? I'm clicking all the wrong buttons here. There, do that. But now we're in no man's land where we're just sitting waiting for it to either create a new fair value gap that looks strong enough. I mean, it seems to be respecting this bounce at the bottom here from this FOMC order block. So it may range for a little bit, take some liquidity, and then push back up. If that happens, and we'll watch for it. Broken to the downside. And again. Yes, I did want to keep pushing through. It looks to be dropping quite strong, so that's good. It's just lapping all them up. So we might get the rubber band effect off of this one at the bottom here. Potentially. Sounds good. Oh! I just realised you... What are we going to do at this level? Push through or bounce? Quite a... kind of been tested once, roughly where we are now. But then this here, yeah, this one here exactly where we are now is like untested. This space here, a bit of a fair value gap, which could be seen as an order block, which is where we're, it's very small, but it's where we're reacting to. So we might just push to break through that quite comfortably, actually, given the size of it. No, I don't want to write a message on it. I just want to delete it. In turn leaves these wicks that have picked up from here, which makes that not so strong. It is a big candle, but it's clearly been emptied and then respected. And we are looking for these lows down here. I mean, we've started to turn up, but we're also pushing down. So we're getting like, I'll show you in a sec, the live candles is actually just like an up, down, up at the moment, printing this down. So potentially here at the bottom of this fair value could be a strong, because that's a big wick, a lot of buyers from probably a historical low somewhere. Yeah, so it's cleared out all of this liquidity that would have been sitting here. We had like a support level here, wicks comes down, clears everything out from these orders on this side, then pushes back up. And that is exactly what we're doing over here. So we've gone down, up, and then we was printing down, but now we're just pushing back up again. You can see the down, up, and if that had closed down, it would have been down in the sense that it's just ranging. But we're not getting any confirmations yet. Possibly a bit of volatility might kick up. We'll see. It's a big pivot point that's been taken before. I'm gonna have to change my hotkey, aren't I? Right. It looks like it wants to break lower. But we get a big wick rejection and we're still the same as we was historically. We obviously have a couple of smaller ones here. So that's just the size of the fair value gap. So the bigger the fair value gap, the more impulsive the move was historically. And for this to be green, it means that it was a sell-off that created this fair value gap and then a buy that broke it. So it then becomes green, so next time it comes, it will bounce. In the same sense that it's come down, turned green, and then as it's breaking through it, it was green, as it broke through it, it turns it red. Come back to respect it. Okay. Are we printing bullish? Enough nonsense. I'll be still a little bit on edge just because I trade with such a small stop loss. I feel like as long as we get a nice wick, then we've sort of cleaned it out a little bit. But these two bearish boxes here, okay, that's a definite confirmation there. Let's chuck a template in. 30.26.77 entry. On buyer. 30.26.77. We miss it, we miss it. It is going, but it might react off of those up the top there. Now we'll just go for a 5-to-1. I think okay, we're in. Didn't realise I was muted. Just been chatting away for ages. Doesn't look like a very strong entry is what I was just saying, which is why I've zoomed out to show historically that we're at a support level, but it appears to be weak. And I'm not so keen that I've entered in before the wicks have come down and taken the rest of the liquidity. Oh, well, it's pushing back up now, so we're doing okay as long as it holds and breaks. I'll put my fair values back on. They are a bit bright, I know, but maybe I'll tone them down a bit. Put them down to 14, shall we? Just to darken them. 14, 15, there you go. Date, lovely. I need a good reaction, to be honest, just because after the initial bounce, this was quite a strong candle. And then it was quite willing to sell off pretty quick, which is why I put my TP up here at sort of 50 pips, 5 pip, whatever that is, even. I think it's 50. Just because these areas are quite big. So if we get there and we break back in, but we've got a decent structure, I'll move my stop loss up to whatever the structure's sort of saying. It'll probably just be about break even, but then I may aim higher up. But now I'm not 100% confident that we're even going to make it. We might make it back up to this structure, to be fair. Sort of on this line here. Not a bad target, but then we have got a structure here that's a break. So there's resistance there and up here. This again is fresh air. It was fresh air on both sides. The trade is starting to go now, so that's good. Just don't want this. You see here, this level, wick sell, wick sell, wick sell, and these were fast movements. It wasn't like it ticked down slowly. It like quite rapidly just dropped to create that wick. We need to clear this level out. Once we're past this level, I feel a bit more comfortable about the trade. But for now, it's still telling me bearish behavior. It's not good. You're in a long. Much time we got on this one? Still got half the gear. See that big drop? That's what concerns me. Because what happens is you get a lot of little buyers, and they all accumulate, and then the one big seller who's pushing the price down, controlling the market, dumps, and again dumps again, which will always stop it unless you get a high volume buy push and sort of outweigh that sell. I mean, I did suspect it would range a little bit, but I didn't think it'd be this close. Hoping just to be able to catch the bottom, nick a bit there, and then it can do what it wants. Just need to exhaust that seller and then just keep the slow trickle of buyers coming in, because we're at a crucial point of support, really. We've cleaned structure a few times. That's hard to see when I zoom out, especially with all of these on there. Not quite there yet. I feel like I want to get rid of the green and purple. It's a bit much. Very like neon. Light grey, dark grey. And then maybe bring that transparency back up. The more. Oh, didn't want to move that. For now, yeah. Come on, strong close. We've got imbalances and gaps to fill. Anyway, just whether we're doing it on this push or whether we're going to stagnate for a bit, clear off the bottom, and then woof, back up. Don't know really. I still feel like I'm betting against the system, even though this trade is so far doing okay for us. All right, crucial point. Say crucial point because this candle's closed quite strong towards the top of these wicks. And then obviously this next candle is the one that's pushing into the first fair value gap. It's a bearish reaction off of a structure break. How far up does it push before we start getting the trickle off, or does it keep going? Where are we? Kind of broken it. See what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring stop loss up to probably this candle here as an order block before my take profit's taken, and then push my take profit a bit further up. Oh, that was lucky. I just moved it before it hit it. I saw the little green light flashing at me. Where did I move it to? Just sort of panic dragged it. 33.58. 33. Let's just put this. 33.58. There we go. And stop loss is 27.65. The reason I've just kept it down here, just more that this feels more like an order block candle. Oh, we're going. Are we going to reject up there though? I'm quite happy if that hits, to be fair. I don't really want to chase it all the way back up to the moon. Like, I've just made 120 pips as it is. We could quite easily reject off of here. So I'm going to leave my take profit where it is. A bit risky because it's right at the top of this range. So if it's going to hit it, it's going to break it, but it's what it is. Do we aim up? All right, greed's kicking in. I have moved it, by the way. I'm going to move it to 39.23 more accurately. But that looks to be... It is rejecting at the top there. $37.46. I don't even know where I've just shoved that to. Let's see where it is. I don't. Why is it muted again? Oh, I realised what I'm doing. I keep muting the. Right. I don't know how much of that you even heard, or what I did mute, what I didn't mute. I don't know how to reset it. Oh. Right. I think I've got rid of the key binds. Right, this is looking bearish to me. I'm going to see what this candle does. If it closes bearish, I'm just going to exit the trade. Take the profit I got. If it goes bullish, I'm just going to be aggressive with my stop loss and just move it up anyway. It's only like 10 seconds left on this candle. So unless it suddenly flies up, I'm out. Let that tick up a little bit and we're out. $30.99 was our actual exit. Puts us 42 pips. Oh, and look, this arrow here being printed bullish. So we were premature, but I'm not going to grumble. Another 42 pips, even though that's going to push now, isn't it? All I like to do is wait one more candle to be bullish and then be aggressive with my stop loss. You can have the patience of the saint, but you're literally just 1 minute premature. Still, profit's profit. What was that? That was a pivot, yeah. On 1 minute time frame. And 42. Excellent. So let's. Where's this here? Yeah, so that's where we would have aimed to for break. Tell you what, let's get rid of that. Let's put that there, just to show where we would have went. Oh, it's bouncing lovely now, look. Silly boy lemon. What was that 30.99, wasn't it? Yeah. And we'll take that, leave that one there. So, as I mentioned, just to clarify, although I closed the trade because I was just too eager, when I say I'll wait for it to be bullish and then I'll be aggressive with my stop loss, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I was literally one candle too early. Should have known really, because it hadn't tried to close in to close out again. Sometimes it don't, sometimes it just wicks perfectly, and then this one would have just shot bullish and just kept driving. But it's engulfing. It's bigger than this last one. The wicks couldn't break lows. It closed inside it, but then instantly, you know, with an engulfing, body-wise engulfing, bounced back up. We got the signal to carry on. So at this point, what I should have done is added to my position, because that's part of the strategy, to just sort of chase the arrows up or chase the arrows down while stop loss is being pushed. So I'd add to my position here. Stop loss really aggressive. And then if it goes, which it has, we've made that little bit extra margin. And then if it breaks the structure, it's not quite doing, to be fair. The wicks are getting there, but the body's not quite. If it then breaks it, oh no, it's pushed up for the last second or two. Yeah, cool, there you go. So it's broke that structure. So we know that the aggression is right with the stop loss. And then this area here effectively is our safety zone, in the sense of it will respect it and carry on if it pulls back, or if it gets past this point, it's broke. because it will then clear these fair values back down. And now we've got to clear this top. It's fine. Held your nerve at the bottom there as well. Did look a bit risky at the start. Sucks to be you. Looks like this one here. I held the initial break, like the market structure, to check. Did give me the heebie-jeebies, as some people would say. I was a bit fearful that it was just going to keep pushing, but it rejected nicely. I'll zoom in on that. I'm not even sure if you can see the candle, to be honest. So we entered into the trade. It came down. We had a big, like a bullish reaction, quite a strong candle, but it's just to fulfill this sort of bearish candle. But this shooting up did scare me a little bit, because that last rejection down to the bottom was actually right at the end of the candle. And then, yeah, once this is broke, we're sort of home and dry, really. We can follow it. Stop loss here, stop loss here, sort of stop loss here. I wasn't sure whether it was going to keep going or not, which is why I never moved this take profit. Oh, look at us, mate. We're breaking right out of it. Really? Trust your process. Damn, man. Damn. Look, I can't complain, man. Like, come on. The strategy is only a 3-to-1. Like, literally, sort of 10 pip, 30 pips. That's it. Just made 42 on that, so I got 33% more than I thought I would. Oh. Should have just set it up to this structure here, shouldn't I? Just believe in myself like I did the first trade. Bill. Oh, we at now? Okay. Right, well, you can see when I was talking about this being a bit of an internal order block, it's actually respected it as an internal order block. That's good to know. Probably should have put that as my take profit, given that I was aware of it. Still, definitely up today. 160 pips from the London. Hold on. Is it 1 pip or no? Let me just check what it reckons that 0.01 is a pip on gold. So 1 pip, 10 pips, hundreds. No, that's not. You're telling me the difference between 35.5 and 35.0, 50 pips. That can't be right. That's got to be 5 pips, surely. Yeah, no, I am reading it right. Although that says 1, actually. What? Am I reading it right? I don't know. Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care. Whatever. I'm going to do it like that, though. I'll tell you what, if I'm going to do it like that, and I'm going to put the colours back to green and purple. That looks a bit cleaner. Just having the lines instead of the box. Because I can work them out. I'm not sure where the arrow, because the arrow is always at the bottom of the actual fair value that it's checking. Like that is where it is, because it's from here. And I can read that without the boxes. Although I am going to get rid of this as well, just to clean the chart up a little bit. Cool. Oh. So it's starting to respect. I was going to say respect this bullish one, because this bounce candle didn't turn green, because the volume isn't as strong. But now this line here, we've actually just created a bearish one, and this is pushing through like I thought it was. So now that's broken, the fair value that was there. And now we're tapping into this one, respecting it. There's a chance that we could wick in and then get a push, another little green arrow. If it does come back to it, then I may enter long. But we'll see. We will see. Because there's a chance we could just be still being bearish. We've had a little correction we've picked up from this order block, and now we're just going to fall off for the rest of the day. Because we never made it down to the lower levels. Even though we cleared this one out. If this candle top wicks and respects down, then we're looking bearish. Then it could break back up and then we'll look bullish. When it's so consolidated like this, I don't really like the trade. And this bearish one is a bit of a weak one, to be fair, because the fair value is coming from this candle. We didn't get a green candle. Like, that's the fair value gap there. And it's kind of been checked once, tested for these lower ones, checked, broke, come back and check. So it's kind of bearish, maybe, structurally. And this bullish signal wasn't a green candle. Again, like this wasn't a green candle. Whereas this here was a green candle. So there's enough volume or volatility to push up. And as you can see, we're now printing a red candle there. Red arrow. Like this whole area, to me, is just like, don't trade it. Got too many conflicting signals all in the same space of like 1 minute up, 1 minute down, 1 minute up. Back to being patient. I do suspect that it is going to continue down though. Actually, just look like when I mentioned about the structure coming up, because we came right back into this order, this big green candle that's created the fair value. We came right back into it, checked it, bounced, but it never went anywhere. Literally, it bounced and then instantly sold through it, which to me says bearish, because it's not a strong respect for it. And we're now about to take out another one. Or we're going to respect it. The candle volume is going to push green. And then we know that we can go bullish because it's the correction or the pullback is a pullback to just fix the imbalances before continuing up. That's why we wait. Patience rather than guess. Let the market do what it does. It can tell us how it's probably going to perform rather than us guessing what we think it's going to do. I know that sounds the same, but it's not. That's like I said a while back. I'm pretty sure I wasn't muted. I still feel, although we're in a bullish market, like if you go to like the 4 hourly, like we're in an uptrend. But if you come into this bit, I'll zoom into it in a sec, but you can see uptrend, pushing nicely, an attempt at a break, pushed up. But the uptrend is getting weaker. We've had some consolidation and then a break. consolidation, and it's not broke. We've literally just top wicked, and you imagine it as like a ball rolling off the edge of a cliff. It's rolling slowly, and then when it gets to the edge of the cliff, it then drops. Not that I use the strategy, but thinking of swing traders who do trade on like 1 hour, 4 hour daily time frame, this to them is a break, like a trend break to swing trade. It's weakness at the top for buyers, strength for sellers. So they're probably going to be looking for a way to get in. And what I'm expecting would be, we've had the break at the top, we'll hit this support level here, maybe have a little check, hit the underside of the trend line, and then we'll sell off down to about this level here. So for a swing trader, that's a good trade, because they were to, wherever they entered, let's just ballpark it there, aim for the highs, aim for the lows. That's like a 3-to-1 for them, which is a good trade for a swing trader on a higher time frame. But this level is definitely quite a support level. So this 4-hour candle needs to, like the body of the candle needs to break these lows. So it needs to close below this, in my mind, to confirm that it's actually like a sell-off. And at that point, I would then look for my entry on the pullbacks for the sell. We've got a decent bounce there after that. That wick down into this lower fair value gap. But again, we didn't get a solid green candle in there. So to me, I'm not going to chase it. I'm not going to chase the ace. Especially when we've had 2 decent trades already today. Like I'm good to just London session, job done. Tend not to. I mean, I do trade the US session, but in gold you get so much more volume, so much more volatility in the candles that my keen stop losses, being this small, are never very good. Let's see if I can go back to something that would have been last night. So this was obviously 6 o'clock. So we'll ignore that because that's a news bringing in some volume. But from the afternoon, here we go. So looking at 2, 3, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So from about 1, half 1. So we've got UK time frame, sort of smaller candles, a little bit of a move. In fact, I caught a lovely short here. I saw this range. I don't trade in the range if I can help it. I didn't get any fair values through any of it. If you see, all the wicks are like covering all of the bodies of the previous candles. So there's no solid fair value gap. And then this broke to the upside, even to this downside that people would probably enter sells with. They would then get taken out. And then it's like a false breakout. People trade about false breakouts or whatever. But I don't see any of that. I literally waited until I would get my fair value gap. There's a gap in the candles there, but there's a fair value gap here from that breakout up and the push back down. And then I just entered into the trade as it checked back in. In fact, it's very similar to the trade that I had just a minute ago. You can see how we broke down, we've wicked. I entered here, and then we broke down. Caught that, although the candle isn't pink for an entry. I went in because to me that's a liquidity sweep. It shot up, and then it came straight back down again, creating that imbalance balance of fair value gaps. So as soon as this checked, I entered, and then it sold off. And I had a really nice long trade. But anyway, I'm digressing. UK time frame, candles are a lot smaller, volume's a lot less. Movement's generally a little bit sort of more of a trickle. Unless it hits a certain point, like an order block or something, then it will shoot off. And then when you get to the US, everything gets more volatile. Like it moves a lot quicker, there's higher volumes, the candles are bigger. And you just have more chance of getting stopped out when I've got a small stop loss. I'll tell you what though, I do find it funny that yesterday's setup from here, we've got a fair value gap, came back, checked it, sold into it, and it sold all the way down. Just that setup there, candle down and then a wick, is very, very similar to this morning. Because it's not exactly the same, but in a range. If you like a false breakout, not that I would see that. In the sense of see it as an entry. I mean, I would see it break out, but I'm waiting for the imbalances. So then when it broke down, we had a breakdown, candle wick up, entered on the wick, and then we caught the long trade down. Quite cool, actually. I've never even noticed that before. So I can't remember how many pips I made off of this, but I did hold it for a while. So yeah, that was a good trade as well. It's all done a lot of it by structure. In fact, I was in long at the bottom here, similar to I was there. How fun is that? It's basically the same. For this one was long then short, this one was short then long. Same sort of setups actually. Hadn't noticed that. Just rambling. Yeah, I'll do it by market structures, and fair value gaps effectively. We caught that, pushed up, structure. You can see it's just ranging, consolidating. No one knows what it's doing. Just ignore it. You can tell when you get to that as well. Like people say, oh, you can see after the fact it's easy, but you can tell when you get to it. Like you've had a bit of a big move, and on the way down you can see I've got some structures forming. And like I was pointing out about, there's a potential order block here, which it ended up being because it respected it. And then you've got a structure and a structure break. So that's going to be a place that it pivots on, which it did, and it's pivoting. So you can kind of foresee that if it respects these little minute pivots and bumps in the big move, you know that you're going to be ranging or consolidating at this point, or at least you know roughly, or I could say that this, to say the bottom of that structure there. So from this little order block to where it started the structure to the break, this is my range. And it has actually followed it. So it's hit that order block. We've respected that range. We've come down and taken a bit more liquidity out the bottom. We're coming back in. So where we're in this central bit, I'm not interested in that. If it breaks out and comes up, that did this, and then it just kept going, I would look to here, because that's originally where my TP would have been to, because that's another structure. So I know that that's potentially a pivot point. Plus, we've also got a broken fair value gap here. So this green candle is the bullish fair value, and then it's respected the structure and broke. So again, this is a good, strong pivot point to aim to. So we know that here and here, we've got potential to do a little bit of this before it makes its mind as to whether it comes back down or whether it carries on up. And if this was a green candle, let's say this was bullish in the sense that it's wicked down and it turned green with a volume in it. Because I'm at the bottom of the range that I know is a range, I've got at least this gap, which is how much? That's like 50 pips, right? So I know I've got, if I get in somewhere down here, I've got at least 50 pips before I need to put my stop loss up, say halfway or whatever. And then I've secured a good profit there for my stop loss. I'm a 2 to 1 or something. like guaranteed 2 to 1 because I have a 10 pip stop loss. And then if it breaks the 50 pips and pushes it up, I can then move to the top of that range with my stop loss. I've secured 50 pips. And then when I'm sitting in this range, I can just ignore it and just keep my stop loss at the bottom of the range. So if it breaks out the top, I continue. If it breaks back down, say like here where it was a liquidity grab or something, so what? I'd get stopped out, but I'm already 50, 60 pips deep in profit. So I've got no problem with that. You're not trying to catch perfect start and the perfect end. You got a move of 100 and you make 70% of that, golden. Even if you make 50% of the move. It's when you start trying to chase the ace and you're just getting stopped out left, right, and centre because you're trying to get a big long trade to make back some losses. And it's not happening. Like here, if you entered here for a long because it come down and broke, and it broke here. All right, let's say you saw this, it's checked it, it's come down and it's broke, and you saw this break of structure. Yeah, you'd get a little BOS bar there, break of structure, that arc call. Yeah, I'll enter long because the structure's broke. We've cleared this high with this break of structure. We're golden. Go like that. Enter along. Yeah, put your stop loss, mate. I don't know, below the swing low, whatever you want. Already, that's a massive stop loss for the way that I trade. So to make any returns on that, you've got to aim up there. That's a 2 to 1. Just to aim up to where I'm sort of talking about for the ranging to start again. It's not a very good trade in retrospect. Even if it went 2 to 1, such a big stop loss. And obviously it didn't anyway, because it came back and pulled back down. That's why a lot of people as well, break of structure, you look for the order block or the imbalance or whatever. So your entry point would have been on this candle. Now you could put your stop loss below the low and then have a nice small stop loss. Again, you would have lost on this one. Unfortunate. Might not have. It might have just come back sooner, and then on this candle that sort of tried to respect it, it could have carried on bullish. You never know. But obviously it didn't. It went bearish. So that's just the way it goes. Like I lose trades quite a lot. Like there's nothing to be fearful of. What I'm sort of rambling on about is just having the patience to watch the range, read the chart, and don't chase the ace. One of my entries is actually called range S&D, which is like a range supply and demand. And I have that on pivots or breakouts or like continuations. Continuation wouldn't be on a range because a continuation would be like this is trading, and then I get this arrow here. So that entry there, that's my continuation entry because I'm in a trade and then I get a continuation. But if I'm in a range, let's go back to here. We're in a range and we're waiting for our entry. I'm not chasing at any point. Even this big red candle here that breaks out, I'm not chasing it because this breakout low didn't really get broken with confidence. Closed below it, and then obviously as this candle, the next candle started, it was driving down, and it would send the chase the aces into a frenzy of selling, and then it would dip, get a nice little order block before we entered into the range, which is also to do with market structure here. This is actually the high before it was broken, and then it was broken here. We'd be hitting to that, and then you'd be sitting here watching 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute, wishing like every time it goes up, thinking, oh, it's going to go, and then it will close down, and it's going to go, and then it's wicking. And by the time it trickles down here, what do you do? Are you scared of it? Are you exiting? You know, you're probably going to hold it, and then before you know it, bang, stop loss smashed. Well, you don't trade the range. Right, where are we at? There's nothing really shouting out at me. This looks a bit messy. I feel like here, this green candle here is definitely going to be a deciding factor if ever we get to it. If we make it and we break to it, we're going to go like bullish. Because these bearish orders here will have been taken, and there's definitely something there. Someone at that price point that wants it to go. Sitting in this range at the minute. Might get a good signal to go when we're near the bottom. Still feels bearish. When you look at it, you can see more downward pressure. Things rejecting in a strong manner, pushing down. We get a few rubber band buyers, trying to hold the level, but there's no real, in my opinion, no real strength to hold the line. So we're potentially going to break back down, find an order block down here, and then we'll go bullish. And because all of this has all been cleared out from this range and consolidation, we've got the space to come all the way back up to these levels I was pointing out before we go back into another range. There's only one way to know if that happens, and that's to watch. Bolt it up. Okay, I'm going to take a bit of a riskier entry with this one. And I'm going to aim to where I thought I got. Yeah, it might be a little bit. Oh, we're going already. Never mind. I wasn't sure because we didn't get a wick down here. I wasn't actually sure whether it was valid. Just because we've come out the bottom of the range, it looked bearish, but we've respected this again with a strong bullish candle, and I thought we're up for enough for the day to be able to afford a risk here. Because if we catch that as the bottom of the range and then it does break, we're good. But it seems to have started going without us, which is a shame, really. I'm still going to leave this sitting here for a minute, and I might just delete it if we don't get triggered in. 30, 40, 51. Cheers. What? 34. We'll see. I really wasn't too sure, to be honest. Just because it's so flat bottomed with no wick, and then obviously the candle closed below. I know this is my range that I've drawn in, so it doesn't mean too much necessarily. The candle closed back below, which is, quite a pivotal sort of area of respect along this range. But clearly, I just wanted to keep going. So we'll see. We might get to the midpoint, pull back, trigger me in, and go. We might get to the midpoint, pull back, and just smash straight through, and then we're at a loss. But to me, this is worth the risk. What will happen now, though? Thinking we've got a little fair value gap there. Break it, check it, and then push bearish. And I've just been tricked into a trade. So now we see how we've got the dashes that have appeared because we've broken this fair value. I mean, given the spread, I'm going to need this candle to come this far in. Right, if I don't get this wick, then I think I've missed my entry. Generally, that's how far back I'll put it. From candle close, that gives you the trigger line, the entry signal. I'll pull it back 0.5, and then that would be my entry. So I'm a little bit lower than that, but I wanted to cover the bottom because there's no wick on these candles. And it looks like that fair value gap's just completely irrelevant. And we've wicked in straight away. Okay. I'll hold it for a few more minutes. I'll see what happens. Because we are getting a equilibrium top here. So we might come in, check, and then we'll go above, but then we'll be above the equilibrium. And then we'll be bouncing off our heels. Well, I don't know what it's going to do from here, but it makes sense that the wick of this candle only came down to here. For the same reason I was saying about this closing below. This bottom line of the box that I've drawn in is effectively the bottom line of the range. So the candles are going to check it and respect it. But I'm still leaving it there. I'm not going to move it up. I'm not going to chase it. If it goes and we miss it, is what it is. You know, whatever the outcome's going to be. Coming down to it. Concern I'm thinking of is if we come down to this candle as an order block, like as a wick, we'll come down. I'll be smashed straight out my trade anyway, hit the stop loss. It'll wick down, clear off any stop losses that are buffer in here, and then whoop, all the way up. And obviously I'll be one of those stop losses that get cleared out. But we'll see what happens. Still feels bearish, even though I'm waiting to get triggered into a long. Looks like it's starting to go without me. I think, to be honest, if it gets to this order block area or breaks it, I'll just delete this trade. Like I say, it does make sense that it's the bottom of the box. It's also nice to know that I've put the bottom of the box in the right place. And as much as I was taking a risk, shall we say, on this trade, even though all trades are risks, probably should have been more aggressive and aimed for this bit of the box. But the move's started now, so I'm not going to chase it. Especially when we was talking about this line being the middle, because we can pull back to here, like I say, and we could just bounce around and do not chase it. If it goes, it goes. We'll see. Whoops. Pardon me, sorry. Actually, let me see. Can I? Let's see if I can get something on the screen. Oh, no, because it won't. Yeah, I think I'm going to delete this entry that's just sitting there. Right. Right. So I'm just trying to set up a little table that just shows my P&L basically. I'm wondering if I can just like select it, have it as a source. I mean, I'll have to manually update it, but on my actual journal, because I haven't, my journal's on a different PC basically. Yeah, I trade and journal on different PCs to stream. What do I want to do? Display capture, window capture, share a specific window. Try that. See if this works. This one. Yeah, boy. Right. Let me just hide that for a second while I. Can I just. Yes, I can. Okay, I'm going to have it on show though. Bear with me while I just cover my screen. What happens if I do this? Oh dear, yeah, that's going to be a right old mess, isn't it? I'll put it up. I'll put it up in the top corner. Right. And then I need to transform left 100. Like 50. 50, no, 25. 25 looks all right. That also. Got it, that looks all right. Top needs quite a bit. Not that much. Jesus. Okay. It is that much. Close. If I have to reset this up every time I stream, I'm not doing it. The question is, can I make that? Oh dear. That's not going to work, is it? Because it's crap. No. I need to find a better way of. What if? Right. Because it's not going to work, is it? Whoops. No. I might just manually write it. I think I'm going to. Can you put a table? Can you put a table rather than a text? Like, hmm. Don't want a poll. Right, let's just hide all of this for the second time. Being words working. Don't. That trade's gone. I'm not in it anymore anyway. Doesn't matter. Let's have a look. See. Okay. So That might be all right. It's going to look really janky. It's going to look really janky. Do I cover it in the background? Black, white, what do you reckon? Grey, red, yellow? An orange? Blue? A bit more transparent? Sure. That looks shocking enough. I reckon so. There you go. What does that? Do you know what? I'm going to leave it like layered like that. Sod it. Looks like it's going now, doesn't it? Do we need a background on that? I think you'll be able to see that. Like, just put it over there. Should be fine, shouldn't it? Yeah, maybe should have been a bit more aggressive with it, but we haven't broke the range yet. Although I do feel like I said about this green candle, we've emptied enough of this area, which it looks like it has because it's been there for a while, not really going, not really doing. Wicked down, last bit of liquidity out of these buy orders, push. So I think we're bullish. Finally, we are going. I think I could still be in this trade now. Look, could have just sat here holding it the whole time. Not that I would have. Don't like to be in a trade for too long. Not unless it's carrying on going in my direction. Right. Have a quick check on the live stream. Looks to me like it's breaking it. Maybe I should have been aggressive if I was risking. I don't know. Set rates. 170. Was it 169 pips? Breaking it. Breaking and checking. Get rid of the range box. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I don't get rid of it. We're done talking about it. Well, what do I think? How do I feel? Think and feel like I'm not going to stream into the US market. I think by the time I've stopped and had some lunch, stuff like that. Yeah. See if anything happens. Yeah, it's definitely more inclined to be bullish still. It's a shame, man. It is a shame. Just missed this one there. I don't know yeah. As soon as I saw that big reaction, as soon as we saw this reaction here shoot up, and I made the comment about it being this is where the order block is, I should have just gone sod it. I'm risking and being aggressive and moving in. And like I say, even if it gets to the top of there, stop loss would have been here, which is like pretty much where that wick's coming down from. So I'd still be in it. And then now it's broke the box. I can afford to move the stop loss up. Never mind. There's always another time. Bloody go. Oh, go on. Can I go back actually to before I deleted that? Sorry for the screen jump. There it is. Okay, I was up at that line. So if I'd put it up there after that, 60 pips. Bro. Bro. Really? Uh, I care more about the safety of my risk than chasing and being like, rah. Especially seeing as I'm up quite a bit today. Hmm. All right. I'll wait and see what happens when we get up to the level where my cursor is now. There's the sell reaction. I'll enter it and I'll carry on streaming. If there's no sell reaction, I'm going to call it, I reckon. I can get rid of this. I don't care about that. That would be the trade. Depending on how it reacts, that would be the trade. Oh, it's dropping already, look. We're already going. We've got something happening at 12:30 today that I don't know about. Thursday, 11, so 12 o'clock. Yeah, GPPPPP. 12:30. Oh, unemployment claims. Okay. Unemployment. 5 minutes. That would be why the volume's suddenly kicking in. Probably also more reason why I won't be trading. Because I don't like chasing big fucking candles that can just even spread to your stop loss, let alone even wick to it. So maybe we'll watch it for the time being. But there is definitely a chance of a reaction here. Just where it's so strong down and it's kind of kicking to come back up. Equally, like this trade isn't placed. So if it blasts through, it doesn't matter. I haven't lost anything. But if the news comes out and we wick up to an order block, is what I was going to say, up here, then obviously we're out. But we'll see if it respects the structure and the fair value gap here on the news. Sometimes you just get big sort of wicks or movement, really fast movement up or down, and then it just instantly flips the other way and then just keeps going the other way. And that's generally just like, say if everybody's in short, they got stop losses, so it will fly up and clear out all the stop losses, and then it will go down. They call it a liquidity grab commonly, I think. Pretty sure that's what a terminology for it is. So yeah, I'm going to move that over by a few minutes at least, so that the 12:30 candle doesn't affect it and it doesn't look like I'm in that trade. But to be fair, depending on what happens at 12:30, it could be nothing. It could just carry on as normal. But depending on how the candle is at 12:30, I'll tell you what I am going to do. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I don't want those on my chart. Like over here, it bothers me that they're there. Yeah, 2.5 minutes. We'll watch it, see what happens. Right, about to go into the last minute. before it kicks in. I did think just the way that sudden candle kicks down like that, there must be something going on today. I mean, generally, I don't pay attention to the news. I feel like you end up getting emotionally attached to things and predictions and stuff, of which I've learned doesn't work. So I just watch the candles and wait for them to do something. And as I was mentioning earlier about how, when the US market opens, candles volume volatility gets higher, which doesn't work for a smaller stop loss. Same sort of thing. As I notice these candles kicking in, whether there's news or not, I notice them kicking in. I go, oh, hold that back. Ah, there you go. Uneventful. Yeah, pretty much. Nothing special. Tell you what, took a risk on the long and didn't get it. I'm going to put this trade in. Put this trade in. See what happens. Give it 5-10 minutes and then that'll be my lot. I think nothing happens really. Okay, starting to head up. I mean, we're still quite far away from it, but we're starting to head up to break out of this. There you go. Pop up. Zoop. Bit of a risk because I'm so far away with no structure. But I'm playing on my profits really. Well, there we go. Moment of truth. Run downstairs to grab a packet of crisps. I'm in. I feel like I'm going to be straight back out. But you got to trust your process, I suppose. This ends up going straight into a loss. I mean, I'm ending the stream anyway, but I'll end the stream. If it stays on, then I'll chase it down for a little bit. actually don't like this little bullish candle right there. Because to me, that says the trade I'm in is wrong. So I could just do with this being bearish to delete that feeling. I don't think it is. No, there you go. See. Yeah. I'd say that that is a loss. 100%. No. Does not feel confident enough. Well, I mean, I closed out early anyway, so yeah. I just, yeah, I should have, as soon as I saw this little candle go bullish, I should have just closed because I just knew that it was still pushing through. But that is the, that's also why I closed out early. I'm pretty sure I mentioned earlier about how it could push up to these different levels, which it looks like it's done. Now that's a good entry because that's a huge, huge wicked candle. A huge wicked candle to say I've taken all of this and the sellers have smashed it out. That's a 5 because we got a loss. That's now 78. Yeah. And that now 512. Okay. And oh, I've done a dashes, haven't I? So I've got to do -7 like that. Yeah, it looks all right. Good enough. That was silly, really, on this one. I mean, the fair value gap's still not gone because that arrow is still there, which means that this wick went through it, but the body didn't close. But as soon as this candle starts closing higher up, that arrow will disappear because it will delete the fair value gap. Always going to be a risk. But stopped out. So gonna be me done streaming. Yeah. No one's watching. All good. You want to wait for this one? Do we want to wait for this one? It's a shame. Imagine if I'd still been in here, I'd have fed that all the way up. This might have panicked me a little bit, not going to lie. Wicking right by that fair value. Waiting to end my stream. And I'm like tempted by more trades. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Engulfing, respecting. It was this little candle, the one after. That tells you that you're wrong. And I should have just closed and made like a break even. Even said it. Come on. I'm hungry now. I mean, 1 o'clock's the latest I can sit here till anyway, really. Are you doing anything? Are you not? Are you what? Yeah, see that arrow's disappeared now as well. Really? Just not going to, are you? Not going to play ball right now. All right, anyway, that'll do me. Don't know when the next one's going to be, to be honest. But I'm sure I will